My name is Beth Bourne. I am a mother of a daughter who since age 14 thought she was a boy. My ex-husband unilaterally changed her name and birth certificate to deny that the baby that I birthed was not really the female that came out of my female body. Last summer, I selflessly gave up physical custody of her in exchange for a court prohibition of any medical transition. She is almost 18 and now identifies as non-binary, and she's showing signs of being comfortable in her female body. And it's proof that these gender identities change over time and should never be acted on medically in children. AB 957 will require a court to prefer a parent who will subject their child to experimental medical treatments not proven to relieve gender dysphoria or prevent suicide, medical treatments that lead to permanent physical harm and permanent sterility. This bill will force parents to do what they know is not right or healthy for their child if they want to retain custody. I listened to 10 detransitioners and 2 desisters that spoke at the Capitol on March 10th. 11 of them are autistic. 3 had their breasts removed before the age of 16. The girls who were on testosterone had aching vocal cords, chronic joint pain, leaking wounds where their breasts used to be, atrophying body parts, painful sex, and chronic pain that no doctor knows how to fix. There are 2 case studies of young women dying of fatal liver cancer from off-label testosterone use. One just 17, the other died in her early 30s. I implore all of you to do your research, read the studies, watch the films such as Affirmation Generation, which tells the story of why there is a 5,000% uptick of kids, mostly girls, mostly autistic children, mostly gay children, saying that they are trans. Vote no on AB 957. Let children grow up in reality and naturally by letting their parents protect them.
Hello, my name is Allie Snyder. Trustee Moon, you vowed to uphold our Constitution when you were sworn into office. 2 weeks ago in these chambers, you violated your oath with a deliberate attempt to suppress democratic speech. I quote you, "We will not stand for anyone not supporting trans children, not supporting our LGBTQ community, and it is not a right. If you have an issue as an individual, keep it to yourself and your family," end quote. Ms. Moon, it is not your right to silence parents. It is not your right to impose your ideology on the families in this district. Your attempt was a violation of our First Amendment. Further, your hypocrisy is staggering. You say we must keep our concerns to ourselves and our families while you support an organization that encourages children to keep secrets from their families. An organization that says parents who don't share your beliefs are a danger to their children, and an organization that tells kids their bodies might be wrong and should be medicalized if they don't fit outdated stereotypes. Your characterization of us is dishonest and irresponsible. None of us support hatred or exclusion of any child. We are anti-child sterilization, anti-child mutilation. We are anti-homophobia. Anyone labeling those positions as hateful needs to take a long look in the mirror. Trustee Moon, you owe our district an apology. If you cannot uphold your oath of office, you should be recalled. Thank you. You want to know why parents are upset? Here are some examples from my school district, Davis Joint Unified School District. On a school trip out of state, my friend's daughter and a boy shared a hotel room by themselves because both identify as non-binary. Against her mother's wishes, our own district policy, and despite the obvious dangers to both children, school representatives felt this overnight room arrangement was the best way to respect the students' gender identities. Unfortunately, words do not change biology. Girls who say they are non-binary are still at risk of rape and pregnancy, even when they don't identify as members of a sexually dimorphic species. Here's another example. This book is offered to kids as young as 12 in my son's school. In language targeting kids, it encourages using sex apps and performing sex acts. I quote, "Perhaps the most important skill you will master as a gay or bi man is the timeless classic, the hand job. A good handy is all about the wrist action, Rub the head of the cock back and forth with your hand. A bad handy is grasping a penis and shaking it like a ketchup bottle. Finally, rubbing two peens together in one hand feels awesome. Mega combo handy, end quote. Ask yourselves if these examples would make you seriously alarmed for the safety of your children. Would you remain calm if your kid's school didn't stop such obvious endangerment? Rather than criminalize parents who are terrorized by the grooming of their children, the state should penalize the pedophiles responsible for it. The most effective way to protect school employees from angry parents is for the state to stop mandating schools sexualize their children. Please vote no on SB 596. My name is Allie Snyder, and this is Anoush Georgiorian, Youth Group Director for the Davis Phoenix Coalition, selling her t-shirt design, Antifa's Famous Milkshakes. Her post states, "Show you're a fan of Antifa's milkshakes, smooth, creamy, and perfect for coating right-wing politicians that spread racism, homophobia, and xenophobia for political gain." In case you aren't aware, Antifa uses cement-laced milkshakes to attack people, often before beating them. This is Andy No, after being milkshaked by Antifa terrorists, an attack that left him hospitalized with severe head injuries. Contrary to Georgiorian's post, Andy No is not a right-wing politician. In fact, he is an independent journalist, an immigrant from Vietnam, and a gay man. This council, our library, and even our police department routinely supports Georgiorian's events, while she sells the glorification of violent terrorist attacks. Our school district promotes her club, giving her access to children in Davis with or without parental consent. These same city leaders attempt to publicly shame and silence Beth Bourne and myself for criticizing the indoctrination, sterilization, and mutilation of children, many of whom are autistic, have suffered trauma, or are victims of homophobia. We denounce hate, violence, and threats of any kind, yet we are the ones targeted, while you give our taxpayer dollars to a woman who celebrates and encourages terrorism. Deeds, not words, matter. If you want to stop hate, you had better stop funding the people who sell it. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie.
My oldest son is in the 4th grade, and he recently had his teacher have him and his class identify and define what each letter of LGBTQT+ means. My son is age 10. He has not even reached the age where me and my husband find it appropriate to tell him how babies are conceived, but he knows now that a sex change, how that happens when it's available. From my understanding, the sex education comes in at 5th grade, and now it includes the gender identity. It also requires a parent consent. This teacher did not get any parent consent. I've gone to the principal and I'm getting hushed. I need help to speak louder for my son. He now feels unsafe to go to school when this teacher is almost forcing this idea. I don't know where else to go. I feel that this discussion, this lesson should be available for parents. When I have requested, I have been denied. I'm at a loss of words. I don't know where to go from here. My biggest thing is that those types of discussions should require a parent consent, along with the material that the teacher had read. Again, I apologize for my nerves.
You're doing great. Take a deep breath. You're fine.
I don't know where else to go from here, and I can hope that just one of you, somebody reaches out to me to help me, so that I can continue my fight for my son.